He wouldn't accept defeat. He wouldn't stop. He had a value in his heart, and he grounded himself in that value and that belief, and he was able to persevere and keep going, and failure didn't stop him. And that's what we're trying to teach. Now, when we're talking about resilience, it doesn't have to be a Michael Jordan level, and it doesn't have to be a George Washington level. We go through adversities every day, things we can't control. How many of y'all have ever been to basic training? Mostly everybody here, right? Except maybe some family members. What could you control during basic training? Raise your hand, let me know. What could you control? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can control how you felt. There's a different perspective, right? Is that true? I can control how I feel. In a resilience standpoint, we're going to learn this here in a few minutes. You can control how you feel, but it's based on the way you think about your situation. So let's explore that a little bit. BMT, give me a specific instance. What's something that you physically could not control? When you wake up, could not physically control that. This is exactly what was going to happen. How you think about that, right? I do not want to wake up at this time, or I need to wake up at this time so I can go to training. The way I think about it adjusts the way I feel about it. I can feel, this sucks, or I can feel, okay, I need to get out there and be ready for this because there's something that I'm going to learn today that may be important to me, especially if I'm getting ready to deploy somewhere. I need to learn this, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Questions so far? Right. Why does it matter? We talked a lot about that already, but here is what the science tells us. This isn't just Poe, me, Chris, rambling on about resilience. There's a science behind all of this, and there are specific practical skills that we can learn and actually internalize and use in our daily life that will actually help us build resilience to be able to be stronger, to be able to deal with adversity, right? So why does it matter? Performance, better able to generate ideas in response to a problem. Doesn't have to be a negative problem, right? It can be an academic problem. If somebody says, hey, you failed your math test, you can't do math, right? That's a problem. That's a problem. But being resilient, I am able to generate new ideas on how I'm going to attack that problem, right? I'm going to study more. I'm going to get some tutoring help. I'm going to talk to somebody that I know that's darn good at math so I can get through this because I need to get through this. Does that make sense? So resilience matters because it helps our performance. It helps your decision making. Your health. There is a lot of science around people who are more resilient actually recover faster from health problems, right? There's a study out there that we talk about. One of the skills we teach is called mindfulness, right? Being able to separate yourself from a lot of the thoughts that are going on inside of your head, because we talk to ourselves like 10,000 words a minute or something. It's crazy, right? But I need to be able to sometimes distance myself from all that stuff. I got the general coming in here. I got somebody videotaping me up at the back of the room. I got folks around me. I've got to stand in for General Corner. I got a lot of thoughts going on in my head. But I need to be able to distance myself from those thoughts so I can actually be productive, right? And I can only get better as I get through this situation, right? So we teach mindfulness, and in mindfulness it builds resilience. And people who are more mindful, there is a study that says people that are more mindful, they actually gave them small lacerations in their arms, just little cuts with like a pin, and they put a bandage over it. And people that had a higher level of resilience actually healed faster than the ones who did not. People who had symptoms of depression or some sort of negative psychology did not heal as fast as people who were able to look at life in a more positive way. Better sleep, better immune functioning. Teamwork and leadership, more value by team members. How many of us look at that particular NCO or officer that, they're always on their game. They're always got a, not necessarily a smile on their face, but they're productive, they're engaging, they are a good leader, and we don't look to them when we need something, right? Those folks are able to actually put their lives into a sort of resilient order, right? And those are the folks that some of us, right? I've had some major problems in my life. I came back from Iraq and ended up in a divorce, right? I ended up in a divorce and I had 3 kids, and I became a new single dad. I needed support. Who do you think I was looking to? The guy that was going through, wasn't able to deal with his own personal problems, or the ones that were able to deal with their problems, right? Not that they didn't have any problems, but they were able to deal with their issues in a more productive way. Does that make sense? All right. So the good news is scientific research has demonstrated that people can learn to be resilient. People can learn to be resilient. The things that George Washington did, the things that Rhonda Cornum did, the things that Michael Jordan did, the things we go through every single day in and day out. These don't have to be huge stressors. We don't need to reopen the Revolutionary War to be able to recognize what resilience is, right? How many people have ever been cut off on the highway by another car, right? How many people have ever got their McDonald's order screwed up, right? How many people have ever had a bad phone call with a creditor? The way we deal with these everyday situations. How many of us have ever argued with our significant others or people in our lives? Okay, just you? I think it's just you. Because I didn't see anybody else's hand. Oh, there's a couple more. There's a couple more, all right? So the way we deal with those things is a measure of how resilient we are, right? But we can learn to do it better.